thing I was hoping we would get to see, because I'm really impressed by that route. So to clarify, Kunkka with the new talents and the setup, the way that he can do it, he has a level 10 talent that gives him torrent knockup / stun duration, and then he has a level 15 talent that gives him torrent damage. And combined, those two talents makes every torrent deal 500 damage, and then you get the Axe and get torrent storm. And on top of that, you can get the shards. You have like all this repositioning magic damage utility build, which I think can be really cool if your other heroes can carry. But in this game, with a Mars offlane, like you said, it's more likely Kunkka will go for more of a right-click heavy build with something like maybe an Armlet, Daedalus, these kind of items that core Kunkkas will usually do historically to dish out the damage.
Well, he's dishing out a lot of damage right now against Nisha, who's already relatively low HP.
It's a great Kunkka matchup.
I mean, look at the CS right now, 7-4 versus 1-1 for Nisha. So, I mean, he's not Exord, obviously, so last hits will be a little bit more difficult to come by. Well, what are your thoughts on going the Quas-Wex build this game for Invoker?
I think it's decent. If you were to go Exort, I think your lineup would be too slow and too greedy. You already have a Sven, he wants to farm Ancients, he wants to play jungle, and you want someone to pair with your other heroes that want to be active. Clockwork plays well with Invoker, in my opinion, when he goes Quas-Wex. It's a great setup for EMP. He does a lot of damage with Cold Snap together with Battery Assault. It's a good hero for Hoodwink to play around. Like, basically all of Secret's heroes except Sven really just want to group up and find kills with Invoker. So, and in addition to that, EMP is amazing against non-int cores. And you have Mars, Kunkka, and Ursa. These heroes get EMP'd, that's all your mana gone. Like, their mana pools are like 500 or less on all three heroes when you get to that early mid-game stage, so it seems pretty solid. But yeah, he's getting absolutely annihilated in lane.
Yeah, it's not remotely close right now. I mean, look at the last hits in general. Right now, Execration's owning all three lanes. Even the Mars is having a great time. He's pretty much even with position one. Yeah, Nisha gets hit by the... Well, he will go Invis, so that'll save him. No sentry there for Yowie, but still, crushing this lane. In fact, getting something like that off where you have to walk back to base or wait for a salve to come sometimes just works out into your benefit if you're Kunkka. I mean, the thing about like the Quas-Wex build, you have this regen, but against the Kunkka, he's doing tons of burst. So you could get this kill theoretically if you're Yowie.
Yeah, and not just that. It's not just the burst, it's also just like mathematically in the start, Quas cannot keep up with Tidebringer. It's just too much early on. When Invoker gets level 5, I think he stabilizes a lot more here. But this is definitely a Kunkka favored lane, and Yowie is playing completely to his strengths. Like he's doing exactly what you need to do. If you're playing Kunkka against Invoker, you ensure the CS every single Tidebringer needs to connect on Invo, and he has to buy a salve, like you said. So not only is he behind by 10 CS here, but he's also expending gold into regen, whereas Kunkka can just buy all these stats with a double bracer into bottle build.
Oh man, double brace. That's like an, I'm going to say old skill. That's like a year ago. People were getting this literally every game, and then they nerfed bracers. I haven't been seeing it as much as we're going to see RR inside some cog action from Yapzor. I mean, Yapzor, how greedy can you be on a Clockwork? I mean, when I think of him, I don't think of Clockwork just because it's not really a greedy support.
Definitely not. The hero obviously does a farm globally with Rocket Flare. You get levels in that. You can take some farm and kill jungle camps with Battery Assault, but it's definitely not one of the best heroes to do it with. And Nisha is just non-stop getting pressured here, which is...
I mean, really if you're Secret, do you think they should make some sort of rotation? Oh, as we say that, I believe we do see somebody there, but see if they can actually help out. It might be just faring at the bottle there.
Yeah. Clockwork level 2 is not very scary. And the thing you do ensure by going these two bracers is multiple things. First of all, you have the regen, so if Invoker pokes back, you're still going to stay relatively healthy. And just this massive boost by going these bracers, flat HP makes it way less appealing for Clockwork to come back. You're still going to stay level 2 Clockwork. Healthy. If he's level 3, I still don't think they kill. Like, it's just cutting through 1200 HP with these two heroes is really, really difficult.
Yeah. Oh, Matu. Oh. I thought that was going to connect from Puppey, but not to be. And the right click will be enough. So after all this, First Blood is top lane. Still for Execration though, as they're still doing very well in all three lanes, as we can see. Matu 27-0 in terms of CS. We're going to see Zai get pressured out now. I mean, these are pretty tough lanes for Secret.
This is the most one-sided first 5 minutes we've had in a game so far. We cast 4 games yesterday.
Hey, it's 2K already.
2K goal lead minute 5.
Yeah, that's
Secret are
gigantic.
Bodied.
Now, one way back, of course, is Ancient Stacks for Sven, which I'm not sure if we're seeing that come to fruition as of yet. But I mean, there's already a sentry to make sure that's not getting blocked for Secret, but in that triangle.
But But yeah, great stuff from Execration so far. I can see a little bit of pressure coming onto Youe in mid out of Nisha. He's trying to at least stand his ground, but didn't really accomplish much except just do a little bit of damage. And another benefit, just to finish off these bracers, is whenever you get max HP on Kunkka, you just make your ulti that much stronger, right?
Yep, so damage mitigation.
Having base HP on this hero is really good. Nisha gonna get X'd. They have an arrow ready to connect. This is problems.
Yep. No mana on Youe, but it's not really gonna matter too much as more rotations come in. So an easy kill to add insult to injury. BDZ. He's just going to get barely pressured here from YapzOr. Rune is bottom. It's an illusion as we see bot lane. Zai getting chased by Palos, who I believe has that Orb of Corrosion. So, yeah, this is looking very rough for Secret. Not exactly what I was expecting to see. I mean, this is a team we talked about how they get off to really good starts just by out-farming the opponent, but they're just losing, it looks like, every single lane right now.
I'd say just theoretically, the lane that surprises me the most is bottom. I think the other two lanes, Execration, are inherently favored. Kunkka, at this level of play, a good Kunkka beats Invoker every time. Like, it doesn't matter. If Invoker goes Exort, it's the same story. He will still lose. And in the top lane, Hoodwink 5 is just weak.
Palos, he already has his ultimate, so pops the Enrage, going to mitigate a lot of that damage. Gets vacuum backed in, though. Does Secret have enough damage to actually... No. YapzOr is not fast enough to catch up.
Somehow got away from the clockwork there, and that's kind of surprising. They must have had some bad luck with that vacuum. He must have got behind the tree line or something to not get caught in the battery. But
oh, look at these stacks on Matu. We see Youe now here with the boat. Arrow's gonna connect as well. Oh my, this is so bad for Secret. They're gonna get the stacks and the kill. Yikes.
Oh my goodness.
And they get a Possess Mask. Unbelievable trade here, Cinder, and holy jeez.
At least it's their own. If they stole Secret's Possess Mask, that would have been even worse, but yeah. Awesome stuff from Execration. Who was it we saw yesterday with the Morph invasion? That was Gambit, I think. It was Laurenoff who made a similar play against
the Medusa.
That was Secret as well. It was the same story. Secret had stacked the jungle for their Medusa play by Matu, and then Laurenoff just went in there on Morphling and stole it. And Execration were like, that's a cool play. We'll do that ourselves today. Seems like Secret have this approach to it. But yeah. This is one of the things, in my opinion, that you sign up for when you pick Hoodwink 5. I think this hero is just not very strong in lane as a 5, especially if the carry in lane is not a true bully. And Sven is not strong. Like, this hero needs time, he needs to build up. You have a bit of a stun and a right click, but you're not like, let's say, Gyrocopter or an Ursa that can really just get in there and do all the damage. Because what Hoodwink will offer you is a little bit of a slow and a stun, but its damage is not wild until you hit that level 6 mark. So, the Execration know this very well and are just taking advantage of it. Puppy's
Nico finds Puppy again. No need for the Mars Arena because he had just used it to kill Puppy a couple seconds ago, so no TP for him. Well, he'll get a new one. That's one of the great benefits of dying these days, I suppose. But what position do you like the Hoodwink? Because every game that I've seen, like in the NADPC, which it was picked, I think, more than any other region, was position 4 almost every single time. And it looked, at first I was a little skeptical, but it did look pretty good as BDZ getting pressured here. Of course, YapzOr only level 4 right now.
Dire's top tower
and
has
top tier 1 tower will be taken out without any defense from Secret.
In my opinion, Hoodwink is just not a first pick hero. I don't think it's good enough. I think it has too many weaknesses against specific heroes, like heroes that cut trees, heroes that have a natural way of being mobile, like fast traveling, or heroes that are strong in lane. You're seeing some of the weaknesses already.
Arena. Zai's in quite a bit of trouble. Into the arrow. Great setup. It's going to be more than enough damage to take out Zai. Now the tier 1 tower does fall. Actually, no, they defended it with just a little HP here. As YapzOr now comes up Youe with that X into boat. Nico will not fall for this, so it's going to be a 2-for-0. Feels like Execration's just getting literally everything they want.
Yep. There's only one hero thriving right now in Secret, and that's Matu, and he is still behind the Ursa minute 10 as Sven. Because X got largely stolen. He did get some of the first stack before he got killed by the boat the previous fight, but yeah, Execration is just doing everything right. It's what I've been talking about. They're just doing such a good job rotating and casting spells off each other. That was what impressed me the very most with them yesterday. It wasn't like the drafts are solid. They're not like super creative or innovative. They just work. Like, it's heroes that combo, it's heroes that have stun, it's good lanes, and then they just execute. It's nice and it's straightforward. It's very easy to understand as a spectator what they're trying to do. And sometimes you can say that's a weakness. It's like, well, then the other team obviously understands it too. Well, you got to outplay them then. Right. It's one thing you know what they're going to do, but can you beat it, right?
Yeah, and we're continuing to see this build from Ursa where you go for the fast diffusal blades. You're not going any type of farming mechanic, because that's kind of his, that was his biggest weakness for a long time, not being able to farm the jungle. And then you just start getting Battle Fury as of the last year and a half or so. But this feels like it's more of a snowball thing where you're up, you're going to continue to chase. You have Orbit Corrosion on top of that, so it's going to be really difficult to get away from Ursa.
Diffusal Blade is super good against Sven. I think something to keep an eye out for Secret now is when they identify that this build is coming out, you need to reserve... I think you need to reserve the Surge for Sven. He has to be able to reset out when he gets diffuseled, because it's one of the few carries that Sven can't just fight head-to-head if they have similar net worth at this stage of the game. Like, Ursa's going to just destroy you. You're not winning the trade. Whether you have Warcry on or not, it's going to be too much. So definitely something.
Nisha already expended the Tornado. Yoe is here. He's going to get hook shot. AA Blast is coming. It'll connect on basically nothing there. The boat comes out. It's only going to connect on one in the meantime. This will be a big kill for Secret. They have the strength in numbers, so they do take out Yoe, and it looks like it'll stop there. But Matu did pop that out. We'll see if they try to go for some more. Maybe there's some stacks in the jungle for him.
Yeah. Good call from Secret. That's the kind of move that you don't have very much time to make, but Kunkka was just out of position for 2 seconds there, and they immediately pounced on that, so very nicely done. And they're going to try to snowball a little bit off it. Immediate follow-up smoke. No hook shot now, of course, so I'll have to do it the slow way with engaging, and I don't think they're not really primed to find anything here, but they're at least going to get out some vision.
What do you think? Like when that hook shot is down, they don't really have much initiation.
No,
unless
they really
Darkseer goes for some like a Blink Dagger build.
Yeah. And I will never really consider Hoodwink a catch. It's like, she's a really good follow-up, but it's not reliable, right? You have a spell that needs to be around trees. It has a projectile that is relatively easy to dodge.
The great thing is you can place a tree, Cinder. I don't know if you know about that.
It takes so long.
I know your favorite mechanic in the game is the fact that you can eat the tree from a bushwhack and it takes off bushwhack.
Yeah, I think that's completely unnecessary. I don't know.
I mean, you think the hero's not good anyway, right? But I mean, we see teams picking it up, so maybe there's something there.
No, so the thing is, I don't think Hoodwink is a bad hero. I just think it needs conditions to be met, and that's why I don't like it being first pick. There are some, like, say a hero like AA, you don't, in this patch, I feel like you don't feel bad first picking AA, because you can pick, like, some sort of combos. You know you have something against healing, which is an integral part of late game, so you have, like, that insurance.
Oh, boy. Mars Arena, double damage on Nico as well. Rebuke and the AA Blast. Very easy killing. Yapster just going to be the food to clean up the play for BDZ. That's a double kill for him.
Gets a 13-minute Vessel on Mirana. That is really, really good timing with these 2 kills coming out.
What's your condition here for Secret? Obviously, Matu needs to farm. He needs stacks, but how do you stack for him when Execration is being so active? I mean, they're getting Roche, for God's sake.
I think it's pretty difficult right now. When the lanes go this badly and then the team is just running at you like this and take the top tier 1 tower, your options on the map are very, very limited. The way I see it, you got to try to get Sven a BKB before you fight even. I don't think... Oh, he's farming in with jungle.
Caught. X marks into boats. TPs are coming as well. And this is going to be a very, very easy kill again for Execration.
That Diffusal Blade just go to work. He just absolutely slapped him. There's nothing he could do.
That didn't really look like a slap, but maybe we come from different backgrounds, Cinderin.
A mauling.
Yeah, that's more like it. I mean, have you seen a bear in real life? They don't slap.
We don't have bears in Denmark.
Oh, that's interesting. Tell me another interesting fact about Denmark. You know, we're making a joke that in America we call Danish, like pastries, just Danish, and you guys just...
We call them Vienna bread.
Yeah, you call them Vienna bread. It's very odd.
Nobody wants to take credit or responsibility.
Hookshot actually connects with the Cox there.
Just down.
Yeah, the ult from Puppey, that's the Aegis. They can still technically fight here. Yoe comes in, still no boat. AA Blast coming in. There's the ult from Matu. They're going to be able to take out the Mars very quickly, but it's going to be a trade for Zai. So offlane for offlane, and I believe both teams will just go back to farming.
That's pretty decent for Secret. I think at this point, if you trade even, they didn't even trade even. They got an Aegis too. So that's 2 for 1. Matsu gets to access his triangle freely for a bit. So that's a little bit of a breather for Secret here, a little bit of space. They definitely have some work to do. So I'm still... Hoodwink is really a hero. I've played it quite a bit, right? And the reason... What I think about it is that the primary reason it gets played more successfully on average as a 4 than a 5 is that, in my opinion, the 5s are... It's more important that you have good laning presence. Whereas for the 4s, in a lot of matchups where you have another 4, there are some 3s in the game that are relatively self-sufficient. Like, let's say you're playing Hoodwink with, I don't know, a Centaur, right? if the Centaur gets off to a decent start and has a good matchup, the Hoodwink might not need to be a very big threat in the lane, but therefore he can start taking some space on the map, get some levels, get maybe one key item and start having a bigger impact. But if your 5 is weak and your carry, in this patch the carries are for the most part not extremely strong laners, you're leaving yourself susceptible basically. So on average. The other thing is a lot of the offlaners combo well with the Hoodwink because they have kill potential, right? Like the Centaur again being a great example. You have a lot of spell burst, you get kills. Hoodwink with Sven don't really have the same thing. And we've definitely seen Execration so far in the game take full advantage of the fact that Hoodwink just isn't a very powerful laner.
That's just one lane, though. I mean, they did lose every single lane, right?
Yeah. But
invisibility.
It's
I mean, either way, 4K net worth lead for Execration. I mean, this is 16 minutes. That's quite substantial.
It is.
I mean, if you're Secret, what do you need to do? You just need to slow the game down. I mean, Matu's trying to go for a BKB, so that's obviously a fighting build. That's not really. It's just Echo Saber BKB. Doesn't really have that much damage yet.
And he has alacrity though. That does help him quite a bit.
True.
It's a Quasvex Invoker, so the attack speed will be there. I think the name of the game is still just slow it down. Defend your mid tower. Try to defend the bottom tower as well because it gives an access point for Execration to get into the triangle from 2 angles. And if you can successfully slow it down and maybe, like all it's going to take in this game is to get a couple BKBs in one good team fight, right? One thing that the Radiant does not deal with very well is BKBs. It makes Mars very weak, it makes Kunkka relatively weak, it makes Mirana weak. AA, you only have Ice Blast. So
is under attack.
I'm not going to say that a Sven with BKB is invincible here, right? But it at least simplifies things to an extent where if the Ursa is accounted for, I don't think he will die. Sitting in Shadow Amulet.
Yeah.
Very,
is this an Overwatch case that I'm watching right now?
Very peculiar.
Okay.
Well, it gives him experience.
Yeah, that's true. He's getting something out of it at least. And I think the big fight's going to be for this second Roche when it's eventually up. You have a Halberd on Kunkka already, so Sven, not even with the BKBs. We're going to see the initiation from Nico again. My goodness, Nisha is just getting wrecked this game hard. Kill after kill. Pretty much the last 3 arenas I feel like have been reserved for him.
I think this is kind of a pattern that we've been seeing in some of the games. I want to say the SEA and the Chinese teams have put more emphasis on destroying mid than the Western teams have. Like there was a game yesterday as well with Miracle against Emo where they ganked Miracle's TA mid like 3 times and the Ember just took off completely. So they seem to be drafting a little bit around these combos that give them the potential to kill mid. And I think that's a really strong way of playing the patch just because once again there's plenty of offlaners that can hold their own, right? You have this Mars who gets off to a good start and then he's free to move. Oh, Puppy could be in trouble here. If there's a good enrage use here. Oh, he doesn't.
And no enrage needed. It is a hoodwink. That is truly unfortunate. Now we're going to see Yowie X back to base here.
Oh yeah, Puppy didn't have his stun ready. He used it to farm, so.
He got a couple creeps. I'm sure it was worth it. I mean, see, when I look at this net worth distribution for Secret and Yapzor is literally last in the game, that's never a good sign for Secret.
That is usually trouble.
All right, we're going to see Moonlight Shadow. Nico with the Mars ult again. Looks like he doesn't really want to go for Yapzor. He's like, I guess. Sunstreak is there, but a little bit of damage to Mars in the meantime. But here's the counter initiation. Mars finally comes out into the boat. A blast to follow, so they finally do get the lowest net worth hero in the game. It takes quite a bit of effort, though, as Ursa disarmed for the time being. There's the spear, and Puppy's going to die again. That's 2 back-to-back deaths. And here's the X into the torrent. Looks like they'll find Zai as well. As Matu pops the ult and just immediately gets disintegrated by the bear, who does not slap Cinderin. How dare you?
Close call.
Yep, Sunstrike not quite enough. And I mean, Secret get literally nothing out of that. And now the Sven ult on cooldown.
I don't know how you re-access the map right now. I really don't. Like, I can tell you from playing games in this position, if you're a lineup that needs to wait for a specific item, and the key to getting that item is having access to your triangle, but you're playing into a team that has twice as good catch as you and better team fight and are an item up, you're kind of in desperation mode right now. It's not like coming back from 8K is impossible, but I'm trying to like you know, when you're behind, you try to communicate and find like a recipe, right? You want to dumb down the fight so that everybody knows, okay, how do we fight so that we win?
Oh boy.
Goodness, not again.
I mean, he has to do stuff like this, so that's the thing. It's not like he's like, once you're down, you have to try to make space where you can, and I mean, you got to give Execration credit. They are just shutting this down hardcore.
At running him over. Like, I can't really put a finger on what they've done. I think the only real mistake I've seen in this game was Kunkka's death mid. Like, everything else has been super clean. The way they drafted to their lanes, the way they played said lanes, the timing that they got Roche, when they invaded, they stole stacks early. Like,
Dire's bottom tower
this has been
attack.
top tier stuff from them. This is Execration's best game so far. I think they're looking really hot today. But you gotta wonder for Secret as well. Like, I picked Secret to win this series coming into today because I was like, okay, they're gonna have learned their lessons from yesterday, but they might have overcompensated a little bit in some areas. Like, to me, this looks like a very untraditional Secret draft, right?
Dire's
in the sense that usually Secret will ensure their lanes and then build a farming lead, but they just have the weaker lanes all around, and Execration are just taking everything they're given all the time.
Yep, taking full advantage for sure. And this is just going to snowball from here. The tier 2 tower looks like Secret might want to defend here. Nisha, you know, a couple levels behind his counterpart Kunkka mid.
Is under attack.
And fortification's already popped, and keep in mind that Roshan is coming back shortly, so that's a big contesting point. Obviously, Execration can take it way faster. And in terms of, I mean, Secret have some good counter initiation. If you get a good vac wall, I mean, that's the beauty of Darkseer. The stronger your opponents get, the stronger your ult becomes.
Yeah.
But it is difficult to kind of combo with the heroes that they have. It's not like they have the Exort, like Meteor, into all that wombo combo potential.
And I think it's also worth keeping in mind when it comes to wall.
Bounty!
Something that's often overlooked is the enemy team's ability to kill the illusions, right? And they have it. They have a lot of AoE damage. All right,
good tank shot. Matu's going to pop the ult. Sunstrike to follow. Air's going to come and connect onto Yapzor for now. Nico actually gets Force Staff to safety, so he's perfectly fine. Matu pops a newly picked up BKB, and that's it. That is the fight from Secret. That is truly bad. Now Execration just needs to wait out this BKB and or the Sven ult.
Double damage!
There's a double damage though, so poses a little bit of a threat, I suppose. But yeah, this is all about Roshan. Another minute and a half to go, so kind of a later spawn. But Execration still looking like they're in the driver's seat right now.
For sure.
What, do you know anything about being in the driver's seat? Do you drive?
No, I don't.
Do you have a license?
No, I don't.
Like, if I gave you the keys to my car, would you be able to drive?
No, but I know what it's like being in the passenger seat, and that's where Secret is. So I can relate.
I'm pretty sure they're in the back seat right now. They're
in the trunk.
They're in the toddler little thing.
Yeah, it's not looking good. And what I was trying to get at before is if you're in this position, you try to make a plan for how to access a fight, right? Like, okay, we're gonna jump this guy, we're gonna cast our spells this way. This is the key hero that we need to shut down. I'm looking at Secret's strategy, and I can't really come up with a very good attack plan right now to entering a fight, right?
Yeah.
Like, who do you go on with who so that it's successful? When you're playing into Boat, you're playing into the BKB, you're playing into an Ursa that's just killing everyone. Moonlight Shadow is a problem. You have to be able to handle getting ice blasted on your carry, basically, when you go in, because...
I mean, what do you think about, like, Secret's lineup? I mean, it's easier, you know, this is hindsight 2020 stuff, but, like, their initiation relies on Yapzor, who is the least farmed player in the entire game. Like, how much of a factor is that? Because he's going for Aghanim. Imagine he had Ags already, which he normally would probably around this time. That gives you double initiation. It gives you so many more possibilities.
It's not necessarily a problem to build a strategy around the 4 being a bit sacrificial. The problem is, again, how badly the lanes win. Like, let's say Clockwork has a bad game and everyone else is doing great. I think it's okay. Like, you can even play Clockwork position 5 in some games if your carry is strong enough. Like, a lane like Gyro position 1 Clock 5 can totally work. Even at a pro level. But again,
Radiant's bottom tower is under
recovering
attack.
from this tough of a start against a team that has so much catch and so good spell casting is always going to be a major challenge. And
I mean, look at Zai. He has a pipe. That's it.
Radiant's
this is not normal farm from Secret, that is for sure.
And they don't have good physical mitigation, right? Like these Kunkka Cleaves, the Ursa are the Rebuke. It's done.
We have a smoke from Secret, and the Mirana ult as well. They're going to catch out the Mirana, so they start this fight out 5v4. And of course, Roche is up, and they have to go for this, I feel like. And there is a buyback available on a Mirana.
Yep. They're gonna take a risk here. This could
Palos jumps in right onto Nisha, absolutely destroying him. But goes invis, doesn't have any vision for now. Finally finds it. Nico with the Marvel just to ensure that they take out that pesky Invoker. Miranda did buy back. They found the AA as well, so this is now technically a 4v4. The arrow does connect on Matu. Expect a buyback here on the Invoker potentially. The Ghost Ship coming in, connect into the Spear as well. They have more than enough damage. And with the dust, Matu finds his way to the grave, and now Execration can do whatever they want. Still buybacks available from Secret, but they're not going to expend them. So they can find one more kill and likely Roach to follow.
I love watching Execration spellcasting. It's like a well-oiled machine. It's so good to watch.
Do you know anything about a well-oiled machine as well?
I do. I've been in the passenger seat of many a well-oiled machine in my life.
I see. Interesting.
Yes. No, well, what's so beautiful about it is
you have a lot of car references, I notice. That's interesting.
Machines don't have to be cars.
I know, but that one, when you think of a well-oiled machine, you think of a car. At least a normal human does. As wow. All right. Well, he's actually going to tick out in the fountain with the ice blast.
I don't know. I think of a machine, and a machine could be a lot of things.
So when you say a well-oiled machine, you think of a coffee machine? Is that what you're trying to say?
A meat grinder.
A meat grinder.
Yes.
That's very specific, and it actually speaks volumes to your person. It makes a lot of sense now.
Yes.
Your upbringing.
Yes.
As Palos, well, we have the Aegis, we have the Shard now, so anytime he uses Earthshock, he will get a 1.5 second enrage buff, which, again, we talked about this yesterday, I think is a top 5 Shard in the entire game.
Very good.
Extremely good. I mean, it's always nice to, like, when you get the second rush, you want to give it to your carry or your mid, typically.
Usually, yeah.
But sometimes there's better shards to give it to, technically, right? But this is the best shard, and it's on your carry, so it works both ways here.
The Kunkka shard could have also been interesting. I think it's...
You actually think it's good? I feel like it's a meme.
Like, I feel like on any hero where you just get an additional ability that has damage and repositioning potential, that's powerful, right?
Yeah, but the repositioning could, like, screw everything up, right?
It can.
Because it's a well-oiled machine, and if you add patch notes to a well-oiled machine, you can't do that.
Have you seen,
it doesn't work that way.
Have you seen Execration spellcasting? Do you think that's going to mess them up?
Yes.
Okay.
If you've never bought it before and you buy it for the first time, yeah.
Yeah. Of course they've played with Kunkka Shard.
They're assuming a lot of things.
I've seen some Kunkka players with a lot of games that are buying Shard this patch, and they just have so much control. Like, the fact that you can... it's kind of like a pseudo X-Mark, even in some situations, where you can torrent and then tidal wave people into the torrent. And I think tidal wave gets a lot better when you have Ags. So I guess from that perspective, since he went for the physical build with Halberd, maybe he doesn't take it, but when you have torrent Storm, it's actually super annoying, because usually, like, in fights, people will...
it's very chaotic.
Storm, right? They will try to get around it. Okay, Puppy's dead again.
It's fine. Keep talking.
How's Puppy doing this game? I feel like he's only died. Okay, 1-5-1.
He has more farm than YapzOr still.
Yeah, he has.
Well, he's basically positioned for Hoodwink.
I think this might be YapzOr's lowest CS ever, minute 28. No joke. It might be the least CS he's ever had. He has 18 creeps.
Yeah, that's...
I don't remember seeing... Like, when he plays Clock, even, he'll usually have at least, like, double this or triple. But there's just been nothing to claim. The map has just been on lockdown. I
mean, again, this is less about Secret playing poorly, in my opinion. It's more about Execration just playing godlike right now. They're doing everything right.
They really are.
I mean, plenty of time on Aegis. You really hate to lose it here. Nice sidestep of the Sunstrike, which he definitely knew was coming. And we'll TP back to base.
X-Mark for the refill.
And a Titan Sliver. Very nice.
Very good. Okay, serious time.
Okay. That means not serious time.
Exactly. Out of your teammates that you get in your pubs, how big a percentage do you think call it Titan Silver, and how many call it Titan Silver?
I would say more than half say Silver.
Yeah. Even in
when you asked what that was that a test for me?
Huh?
Were you testing how I would say it?
No, I mean, I said it for you. I said Sliver.
Oh, did you? No, you said what neutral item is that?
Oh, I did. Actually, true. Yeah.
It was. Yeah. You always test me. And I love it. Initiation on Tanisha. Enrage is popped. That was actually the ultimate and not his shard. They're going to reset here as the cold feet onto YapzOr. And it will actually proc. Turning into the X, and that's an easy kill on YapzOr again. So tier 2 to follow in all likelihood. I mean, the wall has already been placed as well, so Balance with that Aegis should be able to go in anytime he wants. Oh, nice tornado actually disrupts the Nico Mars ult, so wasn't able to get that off, but...
That was very fortuitous. That tornado was actually not intended for him. But he blinked into it.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Puppy.
Puppy. Looks like he's donezo. Needs the help from Nico though, so that'll be an easy one in Zai. Kind of on the outskirts of this fight. I mean, they do have buybacks on Secret, so they probably have one fight in them here.
They forced the BKB on Matsu as well with Ice Vortex into Arrow. He had to BKB that. He was scared of dying.
And look at that, he's actually going Ags, which is like not the typical thing on Sven anymore because they just lack initiation right now.
Has fallen.
I mean, typically, if you're going to get that, you want a lot more farm first, right? It feels like kind of a desperation mode, which obviously pretty understandable.
They need the big combo, right? They need Vacuum into Stormhammer, and they need, the moment that Stormhammer connects, they need a big amount of damage, so...
That Crystallis. Oh, here's the Mars ult onto 2. No BKB for Mr. Matu. The Ice Blast will finish him off. Yapzor next on the list, and this is a huge stop in Execration's favor. It's going to be a 1-0 start for them. Again, both teams have split every single series they played so far, and they both desperately need a 2-0 at some point. As Nisha, they have the vision, and they have the kill.
If they don't clean this up for the next game, this is going to be a 2-0.
Dire's middle tower
They look absolutely just lost.
Yeah, they look pretty lost here.
But the thing is, I feel like it's very easy to look lost when you lose all 3 lanes and your tower and Roche this fast and your lineup works like this. So you got to draft differently. Like for me, this really, it comes back to the draft that you're setting yourselves up to kind of have to massively outplay. Whereas Execration, if they perform their strategy well and do the lanes well, which I think they overperform, not necessarily for them, but they won probably by more than I would have expected on average in these 3 lanes, especially bottom. Like the Ursa was 1,000 net worth ahead of Darkseer minute 6 or something. It was pretty crazy. If you're going to show up like this today, Secret really need to get back to the drawing board. And I think what they should adjust for game number 2, they need to have stronger lanes and they need to be able to fight them head on. Like they actually just have to.
Well, they're going to hold on for one more potential Wombo combo. Matu about 1,000 away from finishing up his Ags, so he'll be able to travel with his Stormhammer.
He almost needs to do it on his own, though. Invoker's damage.
I mean, even with that, I mean, again, obviously they're severely underfarmed, but just a Crystallis, that's not really that much damage. Oh, Spear will miss. AA Blast coming in. No, Matu getting chased. Yeah, he's inside the arena now, and it's going to be a relatively easy kill. The BKB is popped by Palos, and he just absolutely crushes them. Buyback onto Matu, so the dreams of an Aghanim Scepter are long gone. Vacuum into basically nothing. Boat actually hits 2. And it looks like Execration wants to reset now that buyback has come to fruition for Matu. And they could go back in if they really want, but they have expended most of their ults here. Now see if Secret can find any outskirts here. Alright, Bushwhack connects on 1.
Radiant's top tower.
I think Execration. Yep, X marks into. Yep, BKB for Nisha. And yet another BKB usage just to run away. That feels like the whole game has been like that for Secret. Defensive BKBs, can't use it to fight.
Yeah.
Not able to really connect on their, like, the quote-unquote combo or Wombo combo potential.
Radiant
Palace has played extremely well on the Ursa. Has a Satanic now, as we're going to see. Whoa, I'm not sure if that was intended, but that worked out relatively well. Here we go. This is the potential here inside a closed quarter area. Back into the wall. Yeah, the cogs are just screwing everything up. Nobody can figure out where the hell they're padding. Matu got the BKB pounding up on Youe, but now he's stuck inside the arena into an arrow. That's technically a dieback. And I expect a GG here at any moment.
I've been there as awkward. You know? You get this 3-man catch you really want to cog, and now your Sven can't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matu was actually blocked out from getting in. Which I could have maybe found 2 kills. Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't know if that would have really cut it. Execration just, that was a dismantling. Was that the most one-sided game of the major so far?
Of the games that we've... Sure.
Easily, that was a total stop.
Yeah.
Like, Secret didn't get...
I mean, it was a 2K net worth lead at, like, 6 minutes, it felt like. 7 minutes? Maybe that's a little early, but it was super fast. Which, again, like, against Secret, that is literally... I cannot remember the last time I've seen something like that. Because typically they'll get the better farm, all things considered equal. But, I mean, you talked about how Secret needs to come back with a vengeance, because if they continue to, even if they win this next game, which they have to now, if you go 0-2, I don't know what the chances are, but I don't think really you can get top 2. That sounds unrealistic. But, I mean, Execration, if they're going to look like that, then they're going to take this 2-0.
I really want to start from the beginning for Secret in the next game. Like, don't first pick Hoodwink. I just, again, for me, even if Puppy loves this here, even if they flex it, I think too conditional. Like, there's just too many things that need to align. Execration took full advantage of it. Pick something more stable, strong lanes, good team fight, and you could beat Execration at their own game. Maybe. If they're playing like this, it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we'll also see what the beautiful panel has to say about Synderen's terrific commentary. I literally don't even know what camera to look at, but let's see what the great Richard Campbell has to say about this series.
Right, well, not too much to talk about with that one. They just got kind of bodied, but let's talk about why it did happen, because Execration, they've made for upsets, but this is probably the most one-sided matchup that we've seen in the entire wild card so far. It felt like it was decided around like 5 minutes, BSJ.
Yeah, I think what Synderen said during the cast was great in the sense that he said their game plan was pretty obvious to follow what Execration's recipe for success was.